Okay, we've got a couple of really good swings here from one of our players, Ethan, and he's sitting on the tee. Actually, it's a real good side shot, facing shot. I like the camera to be right in front of their belly button so we get a good side view. I call it a side view. So we're going to see a couple slow motion swings here at first glance. Things look pretty good. And then we're going to kind of go through some markups and break it down a little bit and see where we can find some areas of improvement here. So this is the second swing. I'll put a little bit faster speed here. There we go. Pretty good shot right there. All right, so let's bring it back to the start here. And the only bad thing I'd critique this photo from is I can't see where the plate is in relation to where the tee is, but it looks like the tee's out in front of home plate, which is a good place to put it. You don't want to put the tee back even with your belly button. Make sure it's out in front, and we'll get into more detail about that, with some future drills and things. So let's go ahead and take a look here and break things down just a little teeny bit. At first glance, the stance looks really good. I wouldn't mind going a little wider, just a hair more knee bend. The waist bend is real good. You're bending over toward home plate. You're kind of got your eyes down here looking at the ball down here, so it kind of squares your shoulders a little bit crooked. Most of the time you're going to be a little bit more facing the pitcher, but on the tee sometimes we kind of get fooled a little bit and get kind of twisted around a little bit. So I'm going to kind of show you something here. See how the bat, let me see if I can get my pointer here. See how the bat's pointing around here, and it's kind of around your the back of your neck over here. So let me get my pointer there. We'd like to have this bat more straight up and down like this, not cocked around the back of your head, because that makes that bat have to go all the way around and makes it kind of a long swing. Okay, so that's one thing you want to kind of work on, is trying to get these hands to stop twisting the bat around the back of your head and get the bat more straight up and down like that. Just makes it quicker. You can swing like this, but it just makes a longer path to get around on the ball. Makes it harder to get around on fast pitchers. Also, your grip a little bit, it might be fine, but it looks like it's kind of twisted like this a little bit, like that, kind of twisted around, where you kind of want to get close to where your door knock and knuckles line up. So your door knock and knuckles are right there, and then your door knock and knuckles on this hand are over there. So you want to kind of rotate your hands a little bit so you have a little bit more of your knuckles lined up. Usually that works better. If this is working good for you, if the ball's coming off your bat real good, then I wouldn't worry about it. But it looks like the bat's back in the middle of your palm, and your bat's wrapped in your hands too far. I'd rather see the bat get more in your fingers and then open up your wrists a little bit and get your door knockers locked in a little bit, okay? So that's just a suggestion on that. All right, so let's go ahead and run this just a little bit. You start your swing here. This swing, we don't have very much preliminary movement right in here. There's not much hip cock or anything, kind of preliminary movement, which is kind of common on the tee. On your second swing, you do have a nice little leg kick, a little kick start. Some coaches call it a load, but this one you didn't have too much. It could be just because it was a tee swing. Sometimes we don't see the pitcher out there, and we kind of forget to start our motor up, I call it. Okay, so we're going into the pitch. Heads down pretty good right there. You're starting to get your hands and the knob of the bat going in the right direction, right in here. But we're going to see in just a little bit, the knob kind of stops and the backhand kind of takes over. So let's see if we can go a little further here. Back it up. Right in there. We go about right there. I'd like to see this knob, instead of stopping right there, go a little further. Go a little further before this bat starts to come around in the back here. So you're kind of starting nice, but instead of this this knob going further out here before the bat comes back. You'd still want the bat back here. Your top hand and your bat starting to wrap around just a little early. So that's one thing we want to try to see if we can get this knob to go a little longer before the bat comes around. Okay, so let's go a little further here. Right in there. And now what happens is this top hand starts to pull across, and we get kind of like a dead pull type swing. Instead of a longer swing path through the ball, the bat kind of cuts off. Now some of that is caused by a few different things. One, this front foot kind of opens up. Your front foot's not straight open, but it's pointed a little bit too far to the pitcher. I'd close that up a little bit and keep it pointed more toward first base. That keeps your front shoulder closed longer. Also, see how the body's really wide open? The hips are already starting to turn, and that will cause the hands to pull across the ball too early too. So you can hit a slow, medium, mediocre inside pitches pretty well, but the better pitchers, you can keep the ball middle and middle outside. It's just going to cause a lot of problems keeping your bat through that bat path through the ball longer. So we want to try to keep the bat this way longer before we start kind of cutting across it and pulling the ball too much. I like pulling the ball, but I like the bat to stay through the ball a long time while we're doing that. So let's go back here. See right there, knob looks good, but it just stops, and now it starts pulling across the body. All right. Sometimes that's caused by letting the ball get too far back here. That kind of makes you kind of scrunch your arms in. But mostly it's a little bit too much body rotation, and the knob not going far enough, and then the top hand starting to yank the ball over here. Now, it used to be quite a bit worse than this, so you've made a lot of progress in this area, but we still got a little bit more work to do. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up that swing. So right there, we want this bat to go this way longer before it starts kind of cutting across. All right, and your follow through looks really, I like this back arm, this two-hand finish right there. That back arm's finishing real well. Your eyes are kind of coming off the ball just a little bit early. You're trying to see where it goes. That's what we like to do, see where it goes. All right. So good. Let's take a look at that second swing right here. All right. This one here again. Bat's kind of wrapped. Shoulders are kind of pointed down here instead of this way, which is kind of normal on a tee. You have to kind of make sure you kind of watch, pretend like the pitcher's throwing the ball instead of on a tee. And that way you usually kind of fix your shoulders up there. But this right here, this bat wrapping right there, is something you want to try to be conscious of and clear up, because that makes it kind of be a long swing. And we want to keep the swing kind of short back here and get the length out here. All right. So watch this one here. You got a really good little leg kick right there. See that little leg kick? The knee kind of cocks in, the hips kind of cock in. You got a little toe tap. Love that. Some guys even are picking their knee up, getting a little bit of almost a pitcher's leg kick. But that's ideal. Ooh, see how far that bat is wrapped around there? That's a good thing we can see on video that sometimes we don't notice all the time. And see, these hands are just completely wrapping the bat right there. So that's something you want to kind of keep an eye on. And we got a few things that we can do to kind of help you do that, help you work on clean that up. All right, here we go again. This is a better swing. Your knob starts real good. See, the back foot though is really aggressive and pivoting. I like the hips to pivot and the back foot to pivot, but if you do it too soon, it causes the body to turn real fast prematurely and starts pulling your hands this way instead of allowing your bat to get that length through the swing. All right, so we want that knob to go further here before this bat comes around. And we got some things we can help you to fix that. All right, looks like your hands are squared up good. That little where the ball jumps off of your hands, that's what the position your hands got to be in to make the ball jump. And that's where I was kind of tinkering with your grip a little bit. And we get some of that's just natural ability, but it's kind of like we call the axe swing. How your hands line up and square up on when you hit the ball. How fast Does that ball jump off your bat? Does it explode off your bat? Does it leap off your sweet spot of your bat? And right there, that's the hands that do that. The position they are on the bat has a lot to do with how that ball jumps off your bat. Some guys have it more natural than others, and some guys have to work on it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Bam. Nice squared up. Bam. Right there. See, your hands are squared up. That top hand's pointed up. Bottom hand's pointed down. Eyes are looking down there real nice. Front foot looks closed right there. That's good. Still got a lot of open though. You see your chest and your shoulders are wide open, and we got some drills to help kind of work on that to keep that shoulder, the shoulder right there in long time. We don't want it to fly open right away. We don't want this front foot to fly open because we don't want those hands to go that way. We want everything to go kind of that way. So we want to kind of have more of a middle, right center approach. And then when we do pull the ball, it's going to go a lot harder and a lot farther. Okay, here we go. Bam. Nice. Your arms are extended at contact pretty good. And that bat, just want it to go a little more this way before it starts yanking that way. Watch the finish here. And then you got a nice, good two-hand power finish. Looks like your front foot kind of opens at the end there a little bit. Kind of want to clean that up and keep that closed. Balance looks really good. The back leg is scrunched down a little bit. You can even get that down a little bit more. Actually, just by widening out your stance, you can probably pull in a little bit more power. But overall, very nicely done. All right, so we're going to get some a little bit of swing approach things, some drills for you to kind of counteract some of those things that we looked at. Wrapping the bat, trying to get the knob to go a little bit further through the zone. And instead of kind of cutting it off and maybe over rotating. So we're kind of got some ideas that we can help you with. We're gonna send those to you, and then we're also gonna start our game mindset approach. What pro hitters think when they're in the box, because mechanics are good, really important. But one of the main things is, what are you thinking when you're in the batter's box? What kind of aggressiveness are you? Or do you have your A swing mindset? So we'll give you all that stuff too. All right, good job. We'll talk to you soon.